Hi guys, this is Ruben Langdon. You're listening to A.C.M.G. presents Talk Time Live. Shoryuken!
Welcome to the show that gives you all the news, views, and opinions in the world of gaming. This is A.C.M.G. presents Talk Time Live Extras Select Start with your host, Xavier Josiah. Power up and game on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is A.C.M.G. presents Talk Time Live Extra Select Start. I am your host, Xavier Josiah, sick as a... Wait. Can you really be sick as a dog? Do we really know what sick as a dog is? Regardless, I am like completely under the weather. In just like short 24 hours from the last podcast I did, I am completely done. You know how you feel like you're sick, but you realize you don't get sick until you take medicine, and then the whole thing just come crumbling down? That's what happened to me. So I'm like literally on a second tank of empty right now. But I'm here. I wanted to talk about this. I got to get through this. So, I can't waste any time with this because we got some news to talk about in the world of gaming, especially some really cool announcements that came this morning, as well as my review of Super Smash Brothers, and it's a lengthy review. Hopefully, I can try to condense it down as much as possible. It's everything you would possibly know about the game by now if you own it, but if you don't own it and you want to know, I'm here to tell you. So we'll be talking about that as well as some other things that came with it that I got when I went to New York, including the left Joy-Con pad, the special edition Super Mario Joy-Con pad that I received for the left side of it, and has a D-pad with it, so we're going to talk about that as well and what I think of that, and a new protective cover that I had got from Amazon that I wanted to talk about as well. So let's get underway with all the news first, and then we'll jump on to that. Just this morning, and I'm very happy to hear this, and at the same time, very afraid because Nintendo is going to make it hard for me to jump on the PlayStation 4. If not for Spider-Man and maybe a few others, I would probably completely go to the Switch at this point. But another reason why I'm loving the Nintendo Switch is that Ed Boon, yeah, you know that guy that premiered Mortal Kombat 11 last week on the Game Awards? They announced this morning on Nintendo's YouTube page, happily announced that Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. It will be on officially all major platforms, including PC as well. And I thought about it. I'm like, and I think we talked about this last time when we on the Game Awards. I'm like, if they ever bring it onto, the game, to the Switch, will it have the same quality? Because they did the same thing for, for the PSP, and I'm sorry, the PS Vita, which it played great, but it didn't have the same quality because it had to be diluted a bit. But I don't think they really have to dilute the quality here because this is built to be like a major system. So, and if we've seen every other game that they have in here, which the graphics in the game is not dumbed down at all, it looks phenomenal. This is a big deal. This may be a straight translation to the series, and I am excited about this because now I get to play Mortal Kombat at the palm of my hands because I'd never played it on the TV mode. If I want to play anything on the TV mode, I'll play on the PlayStation. So this will be absolutely awesome. I get to watch the story, while I get to watch TV and multitask and everything. So I am looking forward to this. This is exciting news. I am strictly getting this for the Nintendo Switch because I know it's going to play great on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, and damn sure on PC with its almighty 10p, frame rate and 60 miles per second frame rates and everything. But I'm really excited to see how this is going to work on the Switch and how things are going to work from there. So very much looking forward to that. That was awesome news. It'll be out the same time. Cross your fingers that it'll be out the same time as the rest of them on April 24th. And I say that because not to make them out to be like 2K games, but 2K games have had trouble when they had something of high capacity come out and everything. It was supposed to come out on all systems. But NetherRealm has always been successful in what they've tried to do. So it will be a first for them to not be able to bring this out at the same time as the others come out. So I am so looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome, and I can't wait. I can't absolutely wait for this. Other news also came in this morning. It was Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man for the PS4. The City That Never Sleeps Part 3. The trailer's out. Silver Lining is coming. You knew when they said Silver Lining, it's going to consist of Silver Sable. So they showed the trailer, and it pretty much showed the final episode of the 3-part series, which has Silver Sable returning, to the actual series, because if you remember, and throughout the game, after she left, her Sable guards were becoming criminals, and then furthermore, Hammerhead started taking over. His mob started taking over the actual tech and using it for themselves. So when she caught wind of it and decided to come back to do what Spider-Man could not do. So that it looks like it's going to be a great ending to this. There's no announcements on what suits will be available or whether you'll be able to play as Miles Morales, but interestingly so, they have advertised the Into the Spider-Verse movie that's coming out this week too. So I don't know if they're going to have a suit skin based on that and based on Miles for that. I don't know, but hopefully they will do it. I really would like for them to do it, especially when they have this lingering storyline within this City That Never Sleeps series, consisting of Miles talking to Peter about training. So we'll see where that goes from there. Also, this week, Dragon Ball Xenoverse is still giving us love. They are actually giving free updates and extra packs celebrating the coming of Dragon Ball Super Broly, which will be coming in December in Japan and January 16th in America. So I can't wait for that. This will include the movie versions of Super Saiyan Super Saiyan God Gogeta or Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and Broly, which will be shown and seen in the movie as well. Also, everybody, or including season pass owners, will also receive the gear used in the movie, including some of the coats that were worn by Goku and Vegeta. If you've seen early pictures of this, they got early sketches and stuff that they let out. Shows that Goku and Vegeta are wearing like really cool winter coats that they have, and so you'll get to be able to wear that on there as well. As far as a new move set for the game, that hasn't been announced, but more than likely it will, because there are 2 new characters coming. So more or less they will have that coming as well. So stay tuned for that one. And last bit of news, as far as trailers and stuff for gaming, Capcom is working with the people responsible for The Witcher. Witcher 3 Witch Hunt is an expansion pack now that will be involved in Monster Hunter World coming early 2019. They showed a trailer of the main character from The Witcher on there, and looks like it's going to be a separate storyline or expansion storyline from the main storyline on there that you'll be able to play. So he'll be out hunting monsters as well, and it's interesting. I bet you I've purchased Monster Hunter games at least probably like 3 times. The one that had the Strider gear, the one that had what is the other one? The one that had the Metroid gear. Never got neither of them. And I believe the one that had the Ryu gear. I think that's the ones that I got, but I never finished any of those games because there was no storyline to it. I didn't like the fact that the gauge system. I spoke about this many a time. So why does this feel like the one that I should get? But I'm not going to do it. I'm so not going to do it. But, this is great for them to enjoy. This was one of the nominees for the Game Awards. So, it's great that they keep on going from there. And now, folks, our main event. We are already jumping on this game. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Premiered last Friday. We were all chomping at the bits, waiting for 12 o'clock to hit. And, right after the Game Awards and all the excitement of the Game Awards, then 12 o'clock, boom. I mean, first of all, thank you, Jeff Keighley, and thank you, Reggie Fils-Aimé, for just setting up the timing of everything. It was just perfect. You get to watch the Game Awards, all the excitement, all the news coming from there. And then at the stroke of midnight, boom, Super Smash Bros. Come out. And I played that game at midnight till probably like maybe 2 in the morning for the first 2 hours of it. Just going through the motions of everything. And I'm still playing it now. I am not tired of this. This game, I don't know how they did it. It's a work of art. It's a pure state of artistry and a huge tribute to just the video game industry in itself. Like, this culminates everything from the video game industry. Today, yesterday, and forever, pretty much, taking the words from WWE. And it's just a really great contribution to the game industry. It's, the love, the art, the history, everything in here. And this is truly, when they say truly, Smash Brothers Ultimate, this truly, no word could be more perfected for this game than Ultimate. This is truly is the Ultimate, and let's talk about why. Let's start with the adventure mode, because this one to me was the one that made me very happy to want to get and play this game. I have always complained about Smash Brothers games. While they're fun to play, there needs to be a rhyme or reason for every fighting game. I hate just fighting, in games just to fight. I need a purpose. And now they have a purpose. And the World of Light mode is tremendous in a certain way. You would think the way that they did things, you would be tired of this type of thing. But let me explain. Like I said, the mother of all video game characters have gathered together to face the biggest threat that they have ever faced in any of their universes, and that be this angelic being named Galim, or Galim, if you will. Galim appears to be an evangelic-like being who controls all of the Master Hands, and may be the one behind many of the Smash Brothers games leading up to this. Galim towers over, the CGI scene that everybody knows and loves. The Galim towers over the game characters in order to take over the souls, of all the characters. Kirby seems to be the only one that survives, and with that said, he or she tries to help to get some of the souls back into the bodies of certain characters. And from this point on, you go on this journey throughout all these maps. The maps, by the way, which is interesting, it kind of plays like Cat Quest. If you guys remember, I reviewed that, and I had Desmond Wong from the Gentle Brothers Studios in here to talk about that and how they put their map together. It was the first I've ever seen it, and now all of a sudden we see Mario Brothers or Super Smash Brothers with that same style of map. And I'm dying to wonder if any kind of influence of that was from what they did with their game, because there's some indie game characters in this game, and if Cat Quest is in here, I don't know, but if the Cat Quest character is in here, then that tells you right there that that's a possible thing. But it's really interesting that they kind of took from that, or I don't want to say they immediately took from that, but it feels like that. Where else would they have gotten that idea in the case? But I digress. So you got that going on right there, but you also got the game set up in an RPG adventure, pretty much, where you fight using different characters in a variety of stipulation matches. So, I mean, like, it's where you think it could be repetitive and redundant, sort of kind of like playing Dragon Ball FighterZ, in a sense, because at first, when you first get into it, you're just constantly fighting in the same type of matches. There's no real stipulations. There's no rhyme or reason. So you can kind of skip over every match in Dragon Ball FighterZ, in a say, just to get to the end, if you haven't leveled up properly yet, or if you haven't unlocked everything yet. But like once you play it over again. But in the World of Light, every single match has a purpose and an incentive to beating that game. So you get a great incentive in the form of spirits, which we'll talk about in a sec. Speaking of the RPG element, the World of Life also gives you a lot of ability to level up using the RPG system called the skill tree. This requires some special orbs, which you gain from winning matches or buying them in the shops. And the shops are, not microtransaction shops. These are actual shops. You earn the money that you earn from the game, from the in-house gameplay you used it for there. So I hate the fact that we got to clarify that nowadays. It's so stupid. But yeah, so you use the orbs, and it will allow you to gain stronger abilities within the game using the skill tree. And the skill tree is nothing more like your traditional RPG leveling up tree that you see on like Final Fantasy VII and WWE 2K, and everybody's using that style now, and I like that style. I absolutely like that style. So you got that. While there could be some it really just takes away the repetitive and redundancy of the game at all. Like, just whole entire aspect. Some are easy to do. Some of the battles that you're having are easy to play. And some of them are challenging, which is good, too. So it kind of changes up every so often. You get a break every so often, but then you also come under a different one. Part of that is due to the new spirit system, which gives you the advantage to some or difficult battles in a case. So the spirit system not only helps you, but it also helps them by leveling them up. By using these snacks system or these items that you get throughout the game or you could buy in the stores again and you could get it, and it helps leveling up the matches. So when you level up your spirits, you can use that particular spirit to help you get through the game better. And certain spirits have certain stipulations or advantages, or you're like you start the battle with a certain item like a ogre club or something like that, which really helps out the gameplay. And or a sword or a light beam, or you get extra, you're allowed to play the game without fog or any stipulations. You can, if the floor is electric, you get a spirit that can make you immune to the electric field. There's a Dr. Light spirit in there which totally makes you immune to electric floors or shocking floors and stuff like that. So they do have a purpose. And I thought when I first saw this and heard about this when they did the presentation, I'm like, this sounds very complex, and I don't know if I want to jump onto that. But as you playing the game, you do truly understand their purpose and their use, and you wind up, it's kind of inevitable that you do use them in order to get through the game. So it does become engaging. And I love playing with the spirits now. It's and leveling up the spirits and finding more spirits. It's really, honestly, when you think about it, it's a Pokemon game in itself. And that's what it comes off as. You're not only just getting these spirits, but you're leveling up these spirits, and you're taking care of these spirits. And in return, those spirits help you become more powerful against enemies that you go through in the game, including boss characters as well. Winning more matches, and especially boss battles, will unlock more powerful spirits that you can have throughout the game. So, I mean, that's also great. There are other ways to get spirits as well, aside from just playing in a World of Light. You can also play in the Spirit Board challenges, which allows you to play to get rare, powerful spirits. The challenges are random, so they're not going to be here all the time. They come randomly, so if you actually lose one of the battles, you don't get another chance to do it at that time. They may pop back up every so often, or maybe not. I'm not sure yet, but that is a chance to really, get some rare or maybe some powerful items or spirits along the way. And once you beat it, it gives you an opportunity to actually shoot the shoot a gun, this Tora spirit gun, not like Yusuke Urameshi spirit gun, but this actual spirit gun that actually try to nabs the spirit that you're trying to get. So there are also support characters as well that you can unlock, and those support characters help you throughout the gameplay as well. And some of them do consist of some of the latest and greatest game characters out there. Shovel Knights right now is probably the most celebrated independent game character of all time at the moment. This may be the marquee of all independent game characters right now. So he's in the game. I know Elijah, shout out to him in our A.C.M.G Facebook group. He wanted Shadow to be one of the unlockable characters, but in fact, he's a support character in there because I managed to catch him in there, and he was used in the game. So Shadow is in there, unfortunately, just not as a actual game character that you could use, unfortunately. So maybe, hopefully down the line, but I love Shadow myself. I actually have a figure of Shadow, but in reality, I know that Shadow is still a side character. Like, he wasn't really that mainstream character that's going to be a part of this realm. So I wasn't surprised or disappointed at all by that fact. The adventure mode is, everybody's saying the adventure mode is up to 20 hours. I have not reached the 20-hour limit. I actually beat Galeem, only to find out that there is more to this that's going on now. And something deeper goes on here, and I won't spoil it for anybody. So the game does not end after that point. I'm just saying that too. But the cutscenes and everything are awesome in this, and it's really hard not to enjoy, not let alone put down. It really is. But when you want to take a break from the actual, World of Light game, I do recommend going to classic mode when you get a chance to, work on that, because when you unlock characters from the World of Light game, that doesn't mean you don't need to do it on the classic version, and you do have to unlock those games in there. Like the adventure mode, you do have to unlock it. So if you fail to win a challenge afterwards, which once you beat the classic mode and you go through the run, you actually at the beginning, you actually get challenges to everybody that you face. Depending on what character you use, a certain challenge will come up. If you fail in that challenge, and I failed quite a few, don't worry, it'll be okay. There is an actual icon that pops up at the bottom right of the classic mode page, section, and it's all of the characters that you lost against, and they come randomly, so you get to face them. This time, the better part about this is that you get to face them with anybody that you choose. So if you have a main character that you use, like say me with Koopa, because I figured out Koopa was the best. I love his jump up and slam you down, butt slam move, and his drop kicks are insanely devastating. So just for anybody that's want to pick, somebody that's just no joke. I think I've always played with Koopa too. I didn't realize it, but he was always my main dude in there. So, but I'm still checking out other ones that I might want to freak with as well too in the game. But you can always use your main character that you know that you could use greatly to unlock those guys and beat them and to get them as well. So they're about said to be like 72 characters in there too. So I don't know if I unlocked everything. I got about like 60 something in there. I don't think I don't have all 74 yet. I think I'm missing like maybe 4 or 5 more characters so far. But it is a great just throwaway if you just want to play like an arcade mode style version there. The great part about this, this has to be by far the best version of the classic mode that I've ever played in the Smash Brothers history. Mostly due to the shakeup that they did, and depending on what characters that you use and choose for this classic mode, certain characters have different boss battles. If you're Mario, of course, you're going to fight Koopa, and a very different Koopa at the very end. And if you're Zelda or any of the Link or Legend of Zelda characters, 9 chances out of 10, you're going to face Ganon at the end. If you're Simon, Belmont, or Richter, you're going to face Dracula. Stuff like that. And some people that are not associated with the characters, but have some type of similarity or something to that, you end up fighting them as well. And then others do fight, the normal, master hand or dual hands or whatever like that. So it depends. Like if you play against Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong is with you in the game at the end. I mean, the cool part about the classic mode is that it shows purpose, and there's kind of a story being told in the classic mode without even really telling the story, because you kind of understand what they're doing, and that's really a cool thing that they did. It's like a nonverbal communication type of way of playing. It's like, all right, if you play against Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong's with you, and they're facing off against certain people that are connected to them, or maybe associated with them, or may be similar to them in some cases. But every match that you play in the classic mode seems to matter in some cases. There's some meaning to it, and I love that. I really praise that right there. It's not you just going in just to go in. Like if you see certain people together, that there's a connection there, and I like that they really made that happen right there. So I really dig that at all. The breath, this is truly is a breath of fresh air, and I always hated just finding it, just playing the hands. So this is really awesome. I really love it. There are other options such as smash options. Smash options include the return of tournament mode. If you guys have been sticking with me for quite a while, since like maybe last year or the year before, I have the Smash Brothers for the 3DS. And as much as I love that one, the one thing that was my pet peeve about playing this game was, in fact, that they did not add tournament mode to it. And I was furious because there was no guarantee that they were going to do this for the Switch, at least not to our knowledge. So tournament modes was one of my favorite modes in Smash Brothers. The fact that you can put together all of these characters and you can play or you can watch them fight in spectator mode, and go through and it's such fun because there's always great competition in these games too. So I am happy to see that back. Not only that, but they also have different bracket styles as well. They got, you can choose up to 4 different bracket styles of play in the game. And of course, you can customize how you play the game. So if you want all Pokeballs in the game, and that can be the stipulation, and whatever arena that you want, you could do it there. If you want all support characters or whatever, or just you could make it to whatever type of tournament you want. You could save the tournaments this time instead of just creating the tournaments and doing them all over again. You could save the type of tournaments that you want, your characters to play in this time too. So they have that memory backup as well. So that's there. They got a new mode called Squad Strike, which allows you to play against 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5 competition with your friends or as single player as well. Now, I played a single player and I noticed that they have all of the characters in random. I don't know if you can select the characters that you want. I think it'd be really cool if they allow to do that, but I haven't figured it out yet, or I haven't found out if you could yet. So I like to set up certain characters together, like all the Fire Emblem crew versus maybe the Belmont crew or whatever like that, or the Mario crew or whatever like that, and have such a dramatic battle there if you could. But I haven't found it yet, so that's still to be determined right there. But it's still a great and fun way to play as well. Smash Special, which consists of you to play as Custom Smash, I guess allowing you to have the advantage over the opponent that you're facing, like as if you're a boss character. In some cases, so you can make yourself bigger, you can give yourself the advantage or whatever like that, and the characters have to try to overcome the adversity, which is you in this case. Smashdown, which is allowing you, I believe this was on before another Smash Brothers game, allows you to put your character up against the entire roster, and I believe have played this before as well. And lastly, for that mode, for the Smash options, you got Sudden Death, which pits you and your opponent at 300%, meaning the first person to knock somebody out of the arena with just one hit wins. So that's back as well. Other great options in this game, my God. The music library, they talked about the music library on the Nintendo Direct presentation, but until you actually see it yourself and listen to it, it is unfreaking believable. And shout out to them for bringing in one of the songs that I absolutely loved when I owned a Sega Dreamcast, and that is Sonic Adventures Open Your Heart. If you played that game before, if you owned a Dreamcast back then, and you played that game before, it is a song that I would rate up to like Bush's "You Got the Touch" from Transformers the movie. It's that good, and they played it through the end of the boss battle when Sonic becomes Super Sonic, and he's fighting against the big Echo monster, and it is one of the most epic boss battles I've ever played. One of my favorite boss battles to ever play. And added to that, they added the song "Open Your Heart," and I loved the song so much because it was so edgy, it was so epic, and to hear it in this game, in a one of the battles against Sonic, I nearly went off. I nearly went crazy. I'm like, they went that deep with all the songs that they've had. That's unbelievable. So, I mean, this game truly is a huge homage, not just to this Nintendo, but to games in general. And I am so happy that all these game companies came together to make this happen. This is the who's who. This is the Studio 54 of video games here. The who's who of everybody is in this game. Like, if you're not in this game, you're not that dude at this point. So that's really cool there. And also, I would highly recommend everybody checking out the tips, because the tips are shown during the actual loading screen, so you don't get a chance to really read thoroughly, but take the time out to check it out, because it really has some really cool tips and information on the history of all of your characters and some of the connections and everything, and some things that you may not have known about all your characters that's in the game, and certain genres and franchises that's in the game. I mean, it's a ton of information in there, so highly recommend going for that. So, I mean, honestly, this is the truly the ultimate Smash Brothers game that you're waiting for. And the reason why that this is a tournament play game, for a reason. I mean, the fact that you can play this game, and even though you're playing the same control scheme, with everybody, you don't play it the same way. And that's always been the case. And nobody has done it better than Smash Brothers. There are literally other Smash Brother clones out there. There's one in particular that's that's out for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. I don't know if it's out for what is that? It's the Xbox. It's called Brawlhalla, I believe, or something like that. And I played it, and I immediately just deleted it because it just was not a fun. The game balance was totally off. Didn't have the same flair. There's another game out there that I tried too, and it didn't work out. And people don't understand that formula. I don't know what the formula is that Smash Brothers is doing, but they do it right every time. The game design, the character design, the graphics, everything. I don't know about everybody else, but by far, this is an A+ game. The fact that people are still playing it to this day is saying enough. This is going to be an crazy Evo game at best. They did have a competition just recently with people playing it, and just awesome. Just everything you want and much, much more in this game. Highly recommend it. This is the reason why you buy a Nintendo Switch. And there's going to be more of a reason, especially when Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 comes, but this is a prime reason to get this game. To get this system. It's absolutely awesome. Totally deserves the moniker of Ultimate. Point blank right there. Now, as we move on from there, two more things I'm going to talk about, and one of them is the Super Mario Special Edition left Joy-Con with the D-pad on here that I got when I was in the Nintendo store in New York. And which, again, go to the if you go to New York and you're a gamer, go to the Nintendo shop. Even if you don't own a Nintendo, go to the Nintendo shop. It's a really, really cool spot to go to. And they have that there. I was going to get the actual, what was that? What was I going to get? The Pokeball controller, but I was like, honestly, I don't want to get that. It's not saying I won't get that, but at this time, I'm never going to play this outside of, the handheld. So I just decided to hold on to it. And I already beat the game anyway. So unless they have some more stuff to unlock and do, there's no point. But I did get the left Joy-Con. I did want to check out this D-pad feature that they had on there. Now, for those who want this, and I do recommend this, and here's why. Because if you play a lot of arcade archive games like I do, especially those SNK fighters, I still say you can still play. I've always said that you could play with the regular D-pad, with the regular, Joy-Con that they had. It's still very compatible and very, it works incredibly well for what it does. But just the feel of that D-pad, playing, some of your favorite fighters in history, it really does. It feels like a breath of fresh air. Now, in exchange for that, this is a handheld only Joy-Con, meaning you can only play it on your handheld, and I believe you still can maybe possibly play it, 2 players and stuff like that. But this is strictly only for handheld only. But the thing that they took away from it as well is vibration and motion control, which, again, if you're playing handheld as much as I do, that doesn't matter to you. You won't even realize it's not there. Furthermore, even if that doesn't have the vibration on the left, you still got your other one on the right. So you can still, and it's pretty powerful. The right Joy-Con is pretty powerful, and you can still feel everything from there as well. So it's not a lost at all. Not only that, the good part is that Joy-Con is $24.99. Easy pickup. It's a great little Super Mario pattern on there and everything like that. So I highly recommend it for those who are only playing handheld mode and also are fighting game fans themselves. It's awesome. And the cool part about it, now this is the cool part, but wasn't so cool at first. They make it easier to touch the detach button in the back. For those of you who own a Nintendo Switch, you know that detaching it kind of is a little bit of a struggle, especially if you have a protective cover in the back. It makes it kind of hard to do, but they managed to design it in a way that it, to make the button stick out a little bit more to make it easier to detach. Now, that was a problem for me at first when I didn't notice that, and I got I owned the heavy duty Mamba case that they have on Amazon, which is like $17.99. Really good case. Tremendous case for those who have a regular Joy-Con. But if you have the new Super Mario left Joy-Con with the D-pad, that detach button in the back sticks out because of how it's designed. So I needed a new one. And thank goodness I have found it. Also on Amazon as well. If you go to Amazon, look up SMATREE, and it's spelled SMATREE. The SMATREE protective case for the Nintendo Switch answers all of the questions that was missing from the Mamba case. Just off end, it fits any Joy-Con, not even just the new one, the D-pad, but the old ones as well. There's an opening for it that lets you detach the actual controllers as well. Not only that, they left the opening for the kickstand for you because the Mamba doesn't allow you to have the kickstand out, but there's an opening for the kickstand there. There's also openings for the speakers as well as the fan area. Well, the Mamba had the fan area open too. That was the most important one, but every place that there's needed for any type of submission of like maybe headsets, cartridges, everything, there's an opening for all of that. It's still heavy duty, same heavy duty, case that the Mamba case has. And again, it's for those best used for those who want to detach their Joy-Cons from it and still keep the case on, because that's the problem with the Mamba case, is that you have to take out the entire case to do it. Well, this one, you do not have to. I can tell that these guys looked at what the Mamba case was, saw how great it was, but said we can do better on this one. And they did a tremendous job with this. Like, this is if the Mamba case was an A+, this one's an A++, so to speak, in this case. Not only that, added to that, it's only $14.99. $15 to protect your Nintendo Switch in a great way. You can't argue this. You cannot argue this. It really does answers all the questions there. So go out of your way. If you're getting a Nintendo Switch for the first time, especially after hearing the news of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which really, like I said last time, really got people going to them wanting to get a actual case. Getting an actual Nintendo Switch. Go out of your way to get the SMATREE case as well. It's on Amazon. Again, $14.99. Can't beat that. If you got Amazon Prime, 2 days, boom, it's at your house real quick. On time, everything. Protect the system. Fun system. So I highly recommend both of those products as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this edition of Select Start. Thank you guys very much for dealing with me during my, ailing mode right now. I'm totally beat up to be damned. But I'm here for you. Hard work doesn't sit down and, waste time for anybody. You got to do what you got to do, even at your time. Yeah, I still work at home and independently, but work got to get done, no matter what. Client work, you got to keep it going, or at least get enough done so you can really, chill afterwards. But, schedules, you got to keep them. So, but I'm happy to be able to do it still. I still have a voice. I still use this voice. The voice is the most powerful thing ever. So, you could ever have. So I'm here. But this Sunday, again, what is today? Thursday? Yep. What is it? Voltron comes out tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to sit on my couch, chill, heal up, while I'm also putting together the Voltron Lego system set as well. And then I believe Saturday I'm going to go to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and check that out. And I'll have a report for both of them when I come back. So it's going to be a double review feature this week on Talk Time Live on our normal Sunday. And if you haven't heard my Elseworld podcast, go out of your way to check that out as well. I reviewed that. I had to review that really quick because there was so much going on. There's no way I'll be able to fit all that in. So I did a special Elseworld podcast as well, which, by the way, I want to make a correction. I called Dr. John Deegan professor, I think, throughout the entire thing, and it was only because he was at a college room. He was doing his presentation in a college room, so I only assumed that he was a professor at the college. But he is, in fact, Dr. Michael Deegan on there, so please forgive me for that, and that's a correction there. But otherwise, everything else was pretty spot on for the most part in there that I reviews, because there was just so much going on. I didn't get a chance to watch it until I watched it right after I finished the podcast and watched it over again. But man, awesome show. I'm looking forward to Crisis on Infinite Earth, so definitely check that out as well. Again, Sunday we're going to review Voltron, the final season. It ends totally ends at this point. Great season. Let's see how this ends from there. And then Into the Spider-Verse as well from there. And leading up to Christmas, there's probably going to be less episodes from there, so stay tuned for that. Jeff Thorne is scheduled to be on with me next week to talk about what happened in the first half of the season of Avengers Black Panther's Quest. We're going to talk about that. Some really cool stuff that happened on that show, and we're going to talk about that and much, much more from there. So stay tuned for that exclusive as well. So no shortage of it, but holidays coming. We're going to be taking some breaks soon, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to have enough for you guys to check out. So that will do it. Please keep supporting us. Keep telling people about us. And we're here. TalkTimeLive.com, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, all different places to check us out, and many more. There's some other illegal spots that people check out too that listen to the show. But definitely go out of your way to check it out. There's not one place that you can find it. You can easily find it, no matter what you have. Find it and keep supporting us and letting us know, and rate us and let us know what we're doing, what we're not doing, stuff like that. So until that time, this is Xavier Josiah saying, learn to let go, live life, and love all things anime, comics, movies, and games. This is A.C.M.G. presents Talk Time Live. I am out of here, and I will talk to you guys Sunday. Take care. This episode of ACMG Presents Talk Time Live is brought to you in part by Viewfinder's Identity Search and Design. Your choice for web design, graphic design, and all multimedia development needs. Visit VFISAD.com and let us bring your vision to reality.